All right, let me ask you something. When someone stands on a street corner and asks for help, whether it's money or food or just attention to a cause, is that speech? Is that protected by the First Amendment? Now, you might think this is a simple question, but courts have been wrestling with it for decades. And what happens when a city decides they don't like how that speech looks? They pass an ordinance, they send officers, and suddenly a constitutional right becomes a criminal citation. Today we're going to Orange City, Florida, a small town that found itself at the center of a much bigger legal battle over solicitation laws and First Amendment freedoms. We're going to examine how local ordinances intersect with federal constitutional protections and whether enforcement crossed the line. This matters because these laws affect the most vulnerable among us, and the precedents set here ripple everywhere. If you want to understand your rights, subscribe. Let's break this down together.
Bravo 48.
Ma'am. 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 Can you come over here? Okay, what are we doing out here? We can't.
With all due respect, I'm not breaking any law.
Okay, this is considered soliciting. Do you have a permit for it?
48, go ahead to the next.
I don't have a permit,
Okay.
and
Charlie, whiskey November.
you need me to change a word, I'll change
Okay.
it. You
What
can write me a
are you looking
ticket.
for? Money? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, I'm absolutely destitute.
No, you can go to jail for that. You understand that. In this city, we
I
have
can-
a city
I can-
ordinance.
I've already spoken with the police. I've read
Okay,
the
what
statutes.
police? What
If I get
police?
arrested, there'll be
What
a lawsuit
police?
for false.
What police? Who did you speak with?
I've spoken with the sheriff. Do you want to write me a ticket? I
Okay,
don't want to
we're in
argue
Orange
with you.
City. We're not the
I
sheriff's
understand,
office.
but we're still in the state of Florida and the United States of America. There's
Okay.
a constitution.
Okay.
There is freedom of speech.
Okay, I understand that.
But
Yeah.
federal laws trump all other laws
Okay.
on all other levels.
Well, for us,
And
we
I'm
have a city
exercising-
ordinance.
I'm exercising free speech.
You're seeking to get money, okay? This
You
is
know
not
what?
a place to get money. You need to move along and get out of here.
You can't. You can write me a ticket. You can't arrest me.
Yes, I can. And we have a city ordinance, and yes, I can arrest you for it.
Does
And-
Orange
you copy
City want to go
information,
down
please
for
create a
arresting a
crash
victim
call.
of
I'm not
domestic
involved.
violence?
Okay.
This is a public
If you need
sidewalk.
help, I can give you some
This is a
paper,
public sidewalk.
some paperwork or
I've
something,
been to
okay?
I've been.
Location
Listen, I went
is
to every
Publix.
agency
I think it's
before I left
2100
Florida.
Saxon. It's
Okay.
just on the other side of Saxon
You
and
just-
I-4 on the Deltona side.
You just can't be out. You can't be out here, ma'am, okay?
Unknown
If we get a call here for you
They think
again,
we might need
it's not going to be
rescue
good, okay? I'm letting you know at this moment.
Excuse me.
I said if we get a call out here again,
Hold
it's
on. I
not
need
going
to
to be.
record this.
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Your state police.
I'm Orange City.
Okay.
And if you want a supervisor,
Who called
he's
you?
gonna. If you want a
This is a
super,
public sidewalk.
Ma'am.
What?
Ma'am,
okay,
listen.
quote me the ordinance, please.
okay.
That
I'll
actually
get you the
affects
ordinance
No, I
and
need,
everything.
I need it right now.
If you want a supervisor, I can get you one out there, okay?
What?
If you want a supervisor, I'll get you one
I
out
don't want
there.
a supervisor. I want
Okay.
you to tell me the statute.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Are you from here?
I'm not going to answer any questions. Do you arrest Girl Scouts?
I'm sorry, I'm landline and I couldn't hear you. One
I'm
more
sorry.
time,
Do you
please.
arrest Girl Scouts?
Are you near Harley Strickland Enterprise? In
I know you
reference
don't
to the
arrest
solicitor?
because I've seen them all over the place. Or your drug dealers.
I am
I've
nowhere
seen
near
them
there
all
right
over
now.
the
I'm heading
place.
over to that crash on the other side of I-4 for a minute.
Okay, I might need you over here.
Is it
I'm
urgent?
leaving, and I'm advising you. Do
No.
not follow me. Do not stalk me. Do not harass me.
Never mind, I have somebody else
What's
with
the
me.
statute?
Okay, we have a city ordinance in the
What is the
city limits.
ordinance? Okay, that's my
Enough.
point. If you don't know Florida statute or the United States Constitution, that's not my problem.
Okay, hold on. Did you catch what just happened there? The officer just told her she could go to jail for asking for money on a public sidewalk. And when she pushed back, citing federal constitutional protections, he responded with, "For us, the city ordinance," as if local law trumps the Constitution. That is fundamentally backwards. Let me be clear about the legal framework here. In Schomburg v. Citizens for a Better Environment, the Supreme Court held in 1980 that charitable solicitation is protected speech under the First Amendment. The court recognized that soliciting funds involves communication of information and the dissemination of views. This isn't fringe law. This is settled doctrine. Now, Orange City's Ordinance number 690 restricts solicitation at certain intersections based on safety concerns. And cities can impose reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on speech. But here's the critical question. Was she even at one of those designated hazardous locations? The officer couldn't articulate the specific statute when asked. He just kept saying, city ordinance. When an officer enforces a law they don't fully understand against a citizen who clearly does understand the constitutional stakes, that's a problem. She wasn't belligerent, she was legally literate, and that seemed to frustrate them.
Your problem. problem if you continue to harass me when you let the drunks, the drug addicts, and the prostitutes sit all over the place, and just because everybody knows who they are and they don't have to fly a sign and ask for money, even though they're housed and they have income. Big difference. So what is the city ordinance? I'm not going to ask again. She's threatening to arrest me.
I never said I was going to arrest you.
Yes, you did.
I said we have a city. Listen,
okay,
listen
I'm done
to me.
with you now.
I told you we have a city ordinance.
Police officer that's going to lie to my face. Understood?
I asked you if you have a permit, and you said no. I told you.
What? Do Girl Scouts get permits?
Okay. Everybody else that gets permits, yes. You can't be out here soliciting. We have a city ordinance in place.
What is soliciting?
Okay. Exactly what you're doing right now, ma'am. You're asking for donations. You're asking for money. That is soliciting. If you do not have a permit, you cannot do that. If you have one and you can show me, then I'll let you do it.
So do you have a
now
permit?
I'm going to be watching all these other people that are everywhere asking for money and see if they get hassled.
Okay, that's completely fine. As long as you leave, that's completely fine.
Leave?
Yeah, you can't do what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Signs down. This is a public corner. You telling me I can't do this?
You can stand here, but you can't solicit. That's the issue. You standing here is not the issue.
I can't ask for a donation.
No, ma'am, not without a permit. You understand?
I want to hear the city ordinance one more time, please.
I can print it out for you.
Okay.
Is that what you want? Yeah, go ahead and print it out for her. So she's out here asking for donations and money. I'm explaining to her that within Orange City limits, we have a city ordinance for it. And she's like, oh no, you're gonna be violating my rights because I can do this. Yeah, try to explain to her. She doesn't want to listen.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. What are we doing today?
Okay. She threatened to arrest me for standing
I did not.
there and holding a sign telling the public why I'm standing there.
Okay.
Because supposedly I was soliciting funds.
Okay, if you have a sign out and you're asking for any form of donations, money of any kind, that is a form of solicitation, okay? In the city of Orange City, there is a city ordinance that governs that from happening.
Okay, I want to see it.
Okay, I can go print that for
That's
you.
what
what
the other
Grandma
person
said.
Okay,
wants to do.
so he's working on that then, okay? But I'm telling you now, it is an arrestable offense. Yes, ma'am, it is.
I was a victim and I'm a survivor of DV.
Okay.
I was attacked in our state's capital this past June. You are dealing with someone who has been harassed by police. Now, this is something Orange City wants to be known for.
Ma'am, it's been
I'm on the street.
Okay,
I have zero income.
understood.
I have no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing.
Okay.
I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs.
Okay.
And I'm certainly not a hooker. But I see those people all over the place, and they're doing the same damn thing.
And when we see that, we address it with that.
No, but you know what? It's only me that happens to be seen.
It's okay.
All I'm telling you is this.
Leave me alone.
Collect your things
Leave
and go,
me
or you will go to jail.
No, I'm not. I'm going to stand right there on a public
All right,
sidewalk.
right here.
Right here. There you go.
I'm going to stand right there on
Yeah,
a
you
public
can go ahead and
sidewalk.
stand, but you can't be having any
So now
signs.
you're telling me to collect my things and go.
If you're going to be soliciting, you will collect your things and leave.
I'll be soon.
All right, take your signs down.
That's not asking for money. I'm not taking that down. That is free speech. That man needs to be disbarred. Period.
I'm telling you this much right now. If you come back through here and you're out here soliciting for funds, you're going to be arrested. This is a city ordinance violation, ma'am.
This is law enforcement harassment. Well, but what can I say? That I'm homeless, that I'm hungry, that I have zero money.
Okay, I'm sorry that's a situation.
I'm asking you, is that an option? Can I make that statement
About what?
without saying I'm seeking anything?
You cannot walk up to cars to collect money. You cannot. Can I ask people
I
that are
can't
at
walk
stoplights for money?
I never asked anyone. I'm holding a sign. I don't speak to anyone. They're
Okay.
holding it outside
I'm
their
telling
vehicle.
you again.
If they're offering,
you
if
cannot
they're
stand here
offering,
with a sign asking
if
for
they're
donations.
offering.
Now, this is where it gets legally interesting. She just raised selective enforcement, and that is not just a complaint. That is a constitutional claim under the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. Look at what she said. The drunks, the drug addicts, the prostitutes sit all over the place. Nobody hassles them. But she's out here with a sign asking for help, and suddenly she's the target. If that's true, and the city only enforces this ordinance against certain people while ignoring identical conduct by others, that is textbook discriminatory enforcement. In Yickwo v. Hopkins, way back in 1886, the Supreme Court established that even a facially neutral law becomes unconstitutional when applied with an unequal hand. The law itself might be fine on paper, but enforcement driven by bias or targeting specific speakers violates equal protection. And here's the First Amendment angle she's touching on. Any restriction on speech must be content neutral. If Orange City enforces solicitation laws against homeless individuals, but looks the other way when housed people or businesses solicit, that's viewpoint discrimination. The Supreme Court in Reed v. Town of Gilbert made clear in 2015 that content-based restrictions on speech face strict scrutiny and almost never survive. She's not just complaining, she's building a constitutional case.
You're trying to escalate this so you have a reason to arrest me.
No, ma'am, that's not even the case. I would
Orange
hate to
City's going on the map too.
I would hate to arrest you for
y'all
something
are,
like this. It's
listen,
silly. You're making it more difficult than it has to be. We're simply telling you our ordinance for the city, and you're failing to adhere to that. And with that
I haven't failed to adhere to that.
You're going to stand out here and continue to
I haven't failed to adhere to that.
You will be failing to adhere to that.
And if somebody offers me something, there is no law saying that I cannot accept it.
You can't stand on the corner and ask for money or funds with signs. It's called soliciting, and it's
I can say whatever I want on a sign.
Okay,
that is
continue to do it. I promise you, you'll go to jail.
Did you catch what he just said? Soliciting is a criminal offense. That phrase right there reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of constitutional law that should concern every single person watching this. Here's what solicitation actually means in this context. The legal definition requires an exchange or attempted transaction. Charitable solicitation, which includes asking for donations or help, is specifically protected speech under the First Amendment. The Supreme Court drew this line clearly in Village of Schaumburg when they recognized that door-to-door solicitation for charitable purposes is speech integral to public discourse. Now watch what the officer conflates. He treats holding a sign and accepting voluntary donations as identical to commercial transactions or criminal conduct. Those are categorically different under First Amendment jurisprudence. The Ninth Circuit and ACLU of Nevada v. City of Las Vegas struck down ordinances that failed to make this distinction because they swept up protected charitable appeals alongside regulable commercial activity. And notice his threat. Continue to do it, and I promise you, you'll go to jail. That's not law enforcement. That's coercion designed to chill protected speech. When officers weaponize arrest threats against constitutionally protected activity, they become the constitutional violation themselves. She stood her ground, and they finally backed off. That's not defiance, that's citizenship.
I called. Are you here to, I guess, to check in?
What's going on?
I'm losing my over this. She just keeps lying. You can't come in quite yet, sir. I said you can't come in. Mandy, he's Mandy. I know the law. He's elbowing.
Wait. Did they just put him in handcuffs without saying a single word? No explanation, no articulable reason, just restraints. This is a completely different encounter now, and we are inside someone's home. The Fourth Amendment doesn't just protect you on public sidewalks. It provides the highest level of constitutional protection inside your private residence. The Supreme Court made this crystal clear in Payton v. New York back in 1980. The physical entry of the home is the chief evil against which the Fourth Amendment is directed. And look at what's happening here. The officer tells this man, "You can't come in quite yet, sir," inside his own residence. That's backwards. The burden isn't on the citizen to justify entering his own home. The burden is on law enforcement to justify their presence and their actions within it. Now here's what really concerns me. Handcuffing someone without explanation constitutes a seizure under Fourth Amendment doctrine. Under Terry v. Ohio, the officer needs reasonable articulable suspicion of criminal activity. Under Dunaway v. New York, restraining someone without probable cause can transform a consensual encounter into an unconstitutional detention. Where was the articulable basis? Where was the immediate threat justifying restraint? Because from what I just watched, those critical legal thresholds were nowhere to be found.
You heard it! You cannot, I know the law.
Let's go.
All right. You need to, ow, see, sir, you need to get him to stop doing this. I called. I called, my God. You've got to get him to stop doing it.
Is there a cage anywhere?
What's that? I called the cop.
I've been trying to figure out what's going on.
And he just,
you put him in my car.
Her.
What's going on?
You're not supposed to. You don't want to choke me.
I wasn't choking you, ma'am.
I don't talk to you. I don't talk to you. I don't want to talk to him. He just choked me. He choked my dog, pushed my head.
You unlock that?
I don't want to talk to him.
Okay, well,
Can
you...
take a while, please? Hold on. Nothing's going on. I had my kids in the shower. I did a little lie to him that he wanted me to call.
You did a lie?
A little lie to him. Like, I said I called or emailed somebody and he got mad. And like I said, he's going through medical disorders right
Okay,
now.
so what's going on with his medical problems so we can try and get him help?
He's stuck in like 5 years ago.
Oh.
Me cheating on him. Yada yada.
Okay.
The doctor's 100% aware of this, but I don't want to talk to you.
Okay, well...
I need to know if my pig's inside now too.
Your pig?
Yes, I have a pig.
Okay. What is your name?
You don't need my name. I need to talk to anybody else.
Okay, well,
I want charges on you.
Okay, that's fine.
No reason to arrest him, because he said just let him get dressed, and I was dressing our kids, and I didn't want you to see him naked. And that's specifically what I said to him.
Okay, well, that was never relayed to me.
Because you didn't let it.
I needed to make sure that you were okay and he was okay.
We were fine.
And then all hell broke loose. Okay?
All hell broke loose because you started choking him.
I did not choke him.
Yes, you did.
Let me talk to her.
Can we go
inside?
Yeah, don't mind if I come in the middle of remodeling.
And get info on that dog, because it was biting me on the freaking leg.
Same thing happened here a couple years ago. Goss and I witnessed the domestic. He hit her. I chased in after and tackled him, and she claims I hit the kid and did all this other whatever.
Resisting at this point. I have theoretically can take both of them. All right. You called for the police. Help me understand what's going on.
Dude, I don't want to talk to you no more. You just like choked my girl like that. I did nothing wrong. I followed the law. I know you can't do what you just did to me.
Okay.
And I know
well, that's
that.
a conversation for another time.
No, it's not. I mean, what the hell?
Do you want to talk to this officer instead?
Yes, I would
okay.
actually.
Officer Reinier, would you take a statement and get his information?
Like I said, this is...
They're both alleging I was choking them. They were on top of each other.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you can't come in. I'm like, well, I could hear something inside. I could hear screaming when I came up.
Yeah.
So I started to force my way in, and then everything went.
And there it is, right there on camera. The officer just told his partner, I could hear something inside. I could hear screaming when I came up. But we watched this unfold. That woman was calm. She explained she had her kids in the shower. She asked for a moment to get them dressed. There was no screaming justifying forced entry. This is fabrication of exigent circumstances in real time. Under Kentucky v. King, the Supreme Court held that police cannot create the exigency they then use to justify warrantless entry. And what we just witnessed looks exactly like that. The officer constructed a narrative after the fact to justify conduct that lacked legal foundation from the start. Now look at the Orange City Police Department's history here. This is the same department that faced a federal lawsuit back in 2014 over illegal database searches by leadership. There's a documented pattern of questionable conduct. And here's what the citizen needs to know. Under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, you have a federal cause of action when state actors violate your constitutional rights under color of law. Document everything. Get badge numbers. File complaints with Internal Affairs and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Because fabricating justification for constitutional violations isn't just bad policing. It's potentially actionable misconduct.
Grabbing me, she's grabbing me. At one point, we're all on top of each other. I'm trying to, like, separate them.
You got hurt for anything? Or not so much?
I mean, light resisting, I guess, on both.
The reason he called us, he didn't give me a reason why he called us. So, there's no crime that occurred, he called us. Alright? He just didn't... I didn't understand why you get his name even?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
Now, I could hear a verbal argument as I was walking up, and he said, you can't come in yet. I could hear people moving around inside, so I started to work past him, and then all hell broke loose.
What are we going to do here? Arraignment or...
3441 from
I'm
County.
going to talk to the chief, see what he... Yeah, he said I couldn't go in. I could hear an argument when I was walking up, and they tried stopping me. Then she started in. Kids start screaming. Dogs biting me on the leg. Not like enough to break the skin, but Rick, I'll let you deal with him.
What should I tell him
He's detained.
He's detained at this point, yeah.
So much for lunch. Like, at one point, I was like trying to like just separate them with my forearms.
And they were at each other.
No, he was standing in the doorway. I'm like, what's going on? Or something like that. So what's going on in here before we got here?
Arguing, that's about it.
Okay. Wasn't physical.
That's what they were saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have them on what, resisting?
Yeah, resist. Nah, not just resisting.
Alright, let me just see.
Okay, so we'll take him back to station on that. Yes? Okay. Alright, according to the chief, nothing like physical prior to arrival, so we have him just for the resisting. So we'll take him back.
Processing.
Yep.
Listen to what just happened. The officer on camera just admitted he didn't give me a reason why he called us, and then said there's no crime that occurred. That's his own words. No crime, no reason for the call, and yet someone is being transported to the station on a resisting charge. This is where we need to understand Terry v. Ohio and the reasonable suspicion standard. For a lawful detention to occur under the Fourth Amendment, an officer needs specific, articulable facts suggesting criminal activity is afoot. Not a hunch, not I heard arguing, actual facts pointing to actual crime. But here's what's devastating. The officer admits on camera the only charge is resisting. Resisting what exactly? You cannot lawfully resist an unlawful seizure and then be charged solely for that resistance. Florida courts have repeatedly held that resisting without violence requires the underlying officer conduct to be lawful. If the initial detention lacked legal foundation, then the resistance charge becomes constitutionally suspect. What we're watching is circular logic dressed up as law enforcement. They detain someone without probable cause, then charge them for objecting to being detained without probable cause. The Fourth Amendment exists precisely to prevent this. An unlawful seizure cannot bootstrap its own justification through a resisting charge.
That's it? No, it's fine. The camera's on.
What was that officer's name? Just walked by, sir.
Officer Rainier.
Rainier, that one? In front of us?
It's Detective Saborski.
Okay, thank you.
Mail 70 en route to station 6-3 for the start.
Do you guys have body cams?
We do?
Cool. Am I able to have a drink at all?
Not at the moment. We'll sort all that out in a minute, okay?
I've just got the hospital.
What were you at the hospital for?
For anxiety and panic attack like I was calling you for.
Okay. Yes, sure. Come on out. I'm going to grab your arm just to make sure you don't fall, okay?
Yeah, come on, pull my pants first.
Yeah, go ahead. Alrighty. Alright, when the handcuffs release, place your hand on your head. You understand?
Yep.
Okay, same on this side, alright? There you go. Okay, you can bring your hands down. I need you to take your chain off for a minute.
It doesn't come off. The clasp is broke. And I'd really not like to get it broke.
Okay, alright, just take a seat. We'll be with you shortly, alright?
So here we are at the end of this journey, and I need you to understand what you just witnessed across these clips. This wasn't random. This wasn't isolated bad luck. What you watched was a constitutional stress test playing out in real time in Orange City, Florida. Let me connect the dots because this matters. We started with a woman standing on a sidewalk exercising her First Amendment right to solicit charitable donations. Protected speech under Schomburg versus Citizens for a Better Environment. Crystal clear constitutional protection. And what happened? An officer who couldn't even articulate which statute applied threatened her with jail. Then we watched that same woman get handcuffed inside her own home without explanation. Then we watched officers fabricate exigent circumstances to justify their presence. And finally, we watched someone get charged with resisting an arrest that by the officer's own admission had no underlying crime. This is what a pattern looks like. This is what happens when constitutional guardrails get treated as suggestions instead of mandates. And here's what makes this case study particularly instructive. Orange City isn't operating in a vacuum. Remember that in August 2023, the U.S. District Court enjoined nearby Daytona Beach from enforcing sections of its panhandling code for First Amendment violations. That decision should have been a wake-up call for every municipality in the region. Orange City responded by passing Ordinance number 677 in April 2024, and then Ordinance number 690 in July 2025, attempting to thread the constitutional needle. But an ordinance is only as constitutional as its enforcement, and what we watch today suggests the enforcement side has serious problems. The woman in these clips did something remarkable. She stood her ground. She knew her rights. She cited case law. She refused to be intimidated by threats of jail time for exercising protected speech. And here's the thing. That kind of constitutional literacy shouldn't be extraordinary. It should be ordinary. Every person in this country should understand that the First Amendment protects charitable solicitation, that the Fourth Amendment requires probable cause, or at minimum, reasonable articulable suspicion before you can be seized, that officers cannot fabricate emergencies to justify warrantless entries under Kentucky v. King, that a resisting charge cannot bootstrap an otherwise unlawful detention. These aren't obscure legal technicalities. These are the bedrock principles that separate constitutional policing from authoritarian overreach. Now, I want to be clear about something, because intellectual honesty demands it. Officers have difficult jobs. They respond to calls with incomplete information. They make split-second decisions under pressure. When officers follow the law and respect constitutional boundaries, I will defend them with the same vigor I bring to criticizing violations. That's not what happened here. What we watched was officers who either did not understand constitutional limits or chose to ignore them. Neither is acceptable. For those of you watching, this is what I want you to take away. First, know your rights. The Constitution isn't just a historical document, it's a living shield against government overreach. Second, document everything. Body cameras protect citizens as much as officers, and you have the right to record in public spaces. Third, file complaints. Every constitutional violation that goes unreported emboldens the next one. The Orange City Police Department has faced federal litigation before for misconduct. Accountability matters. The law is not whatever an officer says it is in the moment. The law is what courts have interpreted the Constitution to mean through decades of jurisprudence. Tennessee versus Garner, Terry versus Ohio, Graham versus Connor, Reed versus Town of Gilbert. These cases aren't just names on a law school exam. They're the standards that govern every encounter between citizen and state. This woman forced a conversation about constitutional policing in Orange City. That conversation needs to continue. So tell me, drop your name in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. I want to know what legal topics you want me to break down next. What encounters need analysis? What cases need examination? Because this is how we build a more constitutionally literate society. One video at a time, one case at a time, one principle at a time. Until next time, stay informed, know your rights, and never forget that the Constitution belongs to you.